guys, how's it? It's me again, I'm back. Yo, guys, you know what? I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. And I'm feeling lost. I just, you know what, guys? I have no desire at all for fame. I have no desire at all for the entertainment industry. I can't do it. I can't see myself there. I'm just not interested. And I don't know, and I just feel like, you know what, if God wants you somewhere, will He not give you the passions for it? I'm trying to think. I mean, is it possible that sometimes you you never know that you want something until you have it? Is that even possible? I mean, how does having something in your life make you want it all of a sudden? I just don't see how I could develop a desire to be in the limelight. I have no, the whole time that I'm sitting that side watching TV, I'm just like, I can't, Lord. I don't want this. Those lives, I've just always had this view, guys. It's plastic. It's fake and it's hollow. And I am such a deep person. I just feel like I'm much too deep to be in that industry. I'm sorry, I know this probably would offend some, but it's just my opinion, and it, of course, doesn't really have to hold water. But my main issue with it is just the hollowness of it all, the shallowness, guys. And I'm also very worried about the message, my walk in Christ and what I represent in Him, will it not be tarnished by that? And even as I speak to you guys, I know, asking myself, saying rather, that it's very shallow, it's hollow. Guys, wow. But then again, wasn't MTN also really shallow? I mean, I suppose just because the people were not celebs, or people trying to catch getting fame, it doesn't necessarily, well, to a certain extent they were just fame within their circle of influence. But what was it really much deeper than what I would find in the entertainment industry, for instance? The shallowness of the women, even the men, the colleagues, some of the colleagues that I had were shallow, that were male. Hi, Karawa, how are you in the corridors? What's up? Good. And then you turn around and you do strange things. Or wanyata. Or your response to me in a project meeting is kind of like, you might as well say it in as many words that I have no respect for you, Karabo, and I'm only responding to you because if I don't, it might just put me in an HR meeting. So, is it really shallow? Is the entertainment industry more shallow than MTN corporate? Is it really? I mean, I'm sorry that I'm busy having these thought processes in front of you guys, but is it really shallower than MTN? I don't know, guys, right? I mean, let's just think. Let's think about it. and you know what? There's actually a very strong possibility that it's less shallow. You know why? Because it's in your face about the criteria that it requires a person to be like. So here is this person having suffered, struggled really in corporate because of demographics. Being a woman, being young, being black, and looking a certain way too. All odds working against me. All odds working against me. But a great deal of pretense existing within the building to the end that, oh man, we're not treating you strangely because you're a woman and you're pretty and you're black and you're young. So there's a great deal of pretense among colleagues as to why they receive you a certain way, therefore aiding my argument of it being shallow. Whereas in the entertainment industry, it's in your face. Like, for instance, if you don't get a project, or if a project sponsor has no confidence in you because in Jafela at sight, at first value, just plain first value, look at you without so much understanding your credentials or what you're about, just by plain sight. Young black woman looking a certain way. Oh. Okay. And then you get the project because, I don't know, there's a spec from somewhere that this kind of girl has to get the job. Or you don't give me the job because you can choose. But when you choose a certain different kind of person for that job, you don't say it in so many words that I'm choosing you because you look like this and these are your demographics. But I'm going to pretend that, I chose you based on merit purely. Except it's really not on merit. It's because they fit within a certain box. Or if they do choose you, they treat you like rubbish in the project because they have no respect for you because of, your demographics, those stats that I gave, young black woman who looks a certain way. So in other words, you get persecuted with people pretending, I'm not really persecuting you, you're kind of sensitive. Come now, don't pull the gender card. Don't pull the race card. Hey, don't pull the whatever card, Don't pull the age card. Relax, come on, you're too sensitive. Go have a coffee and come back, we'll talk about it. Meanwhile, it's all just patronizing umuntu. So somewhere deep down inside, it really is, it's shallow. Right? Whereas in the entertainment industry, it's in your face. I'm hiring you, Karabo, because we're looking for a black girl who is this particular age. And you look this way. So in other words, we're definitely hiring you because of the way you look. And when they don't give you a job, they don't give it to you because, Karabo, we wanted a white girl on this project and you're not a white girl. So you're not going to get the job. In other words, it's in your face. The very thing that I have been struggling with, trying to run away from in corporate, I'm going to be able to 100% avoid it in the entertainment industry. Because I will know for a fact that I can't possibly go and audition for an advert or for some kind of whatever where they are looking for a colored girl. That would just be like, Karabo, but like, did you read the spec? So people are not going to patronizingly interview me to get through process just so they can choose who they wanted anyway. It really is a fair playing field. Somewhat, I think. Going to a place where the very thing that has landed me with persecution is going to be the very thing that's going to get me work. The very thing that I have suffered from and has just made it very difficult for me to grow in corporate will be the very thing that helps me grow in the entertainment industry, I suppose. In other words, the way that I look, it was a problem for those witches at MTN. Now it's going to be the very thing that lands me work, right? Is it not? So, I mean, again, just in reverting back, is it really as shallow as I think it is? So moving past that, How do I develop a desire for something that I desperately do not want? I've never wanted. Guys, like the thought of it, even right now, I've been just pleading with God, oh Lord, I don't want to do this. I don't want to act. I don't want to be I don't want to be a public. I just don't want to be a public figure. I don't want to do it. I have no desire for it. I just have the industry. I'm sorry. I hate it. There we go. That's the word. I hate it. I hate the idea of it. The prospect of it. The prospect of me being a part of it. I hate it. I don't want to do it. And here I am thinking maybe I should just go and look for a job. Because I can't do this thing that God is showing me is what I need to do. And my question is it possible to realize that you actually loved something only when it's in your life? Is it? To realize how much you've always needed something or wanted or belonged to something only when it's in your life? How then do you get to the point of overcoming the fact that you hate it at first? And therefore pull your body into a place where you're exposing yourself into it? How do you get to a point where you put yourself somewhere where you don't want to be, only to realize later that it's where you were supposed to be all along anyway? So the first question is it possible to love something or realize that you love something that you thought you hated? And secondly, if the answer to that question is yes, how does one transition from hating a place to just it's like dating a guy you don't want? The thought of it is just like, wow, why would I want to do that? Like a guy that's just like, yo, waiting, is it possible for you to get to a place where only once they're in your life you realize, my goodness, this is the love of my life, I always belonged here? And if so, what is the transitory phase from this place on the outside where I feel like, ew, I can't be with that, to you're my love? What is it that's going to make me walk towards this thing that is a repellent to me? It's not magnifying to me. It's not magnetic to me. I'm not drawn to it. So how do I get my body to move towards that which I'm not drawn to? Because all that my nature wants to do is run away from it. How do I get to a point where I am exactly where I need to be in order for me to realize that, oh, I actually really love this thing? How do you do that? Leaning in for a kiss on the lips of somebody that you just are like, ew. And then once you're in the kiss, you're like, wow, this is the kiss of the like century. How do you get yourself to a point where you motivate yourself to get up out of your chair and do that which you absolutely despise? Because God has told you that's where you need to be. How do you do that? How do you do that? Is it like the case, I guess, of Moses? Not Moses, Abraham. Before he almost killed his son Isaac, and God was like, whoa, you don't have to go that way. When God tells you do something that you really don't want to do because you hate it. I'm not lying to you guys. I hate the prospect of the entertainment industry. I hate it. I detest it. It is a grieving thing for me to even think about it. Passionately, I hate it. The prospect of that industry grates me. That is why I've never been a part of it. I've always considered it shallow. I've always considered it like, why? Why would you want your life like that? Why would you want to go to a store and not be able to walk around without the whole world knowing who you are? I hate it. So how do you get yourself out of your skin to go and pursue hotly something that you hate? And another thing that grates me about the industry is not even so much, that, I'm entering into acting or whatever, but what it is that I will be doing. I just feel like it's not aligned to what it is that I've always wanted to represent. I've always wanted to end up one day being respected for being a businesswoman and a writer. So if I became famous for those reasons, all the more merrier. I would be happy to become famous for a craft like my writing or my business savvy. I don't want to just go and stand in front of a camera and wear a character. Acting. I can't. Ew. I'm sorry, guys. Hi, actors and actresses. Like, honestly, this is just me expressing my passion. I just have no desire for it. And I can just imagine, like, the industry is also another place where you're expected to do certain things, roles, like imagine, for instance, they tell me I must go and kiss some dude. Or kiss some morating. I can't do that. I don't even want to kiss before I'm married. Let alone doing it with some random dude. I guess it has its people. Somebody gotta do it, right? But I just feel like it's not me. So is the shallowness really the only problem that I have with this industry? No. It's just the fact that the things that it takes away from your life. And the fact that most of these industries are all just anti-Christ, guys. Like, they only do well to destroy a person from the Lord. I mean, I am yet to discover or learn of one celebrity that started out really fiery for God and stayed that way once they were in the industry. They just got colder and colder and were made dark by the industry. What makes me think I'm any different? What makes me think I'm going to maintain my fire for Christ once I'm in there? I just feel like that's not where I must be, guys. Really. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, how can my spirit be so antagonistic to this thing? How can I loathe the prospect of it so much? How can I? If that's where God wants me to be and this thing is like something that's lodged on my throat about to come out like vomit. The prospect of it, if it disgusts me that much, how is it possible that that's where God wants me? So again, I have this question. Is it possible that you can love something that you once really thought you can't? And the second question, if the answer to that is yes, is how then do you move yourself toward it when there is no magnetic pull? I'm creative, guys. I'm an artist. But I just don't think that the entertainment industry is where that art is supposed to come out. I'm a writer. I'm a child of God before I'm a writer. I'm jocose. I'm hectic, fluffy. But I'm a child of God before I'm any of those things. I don't know, guys. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. But the thing is, if it doesn't feel right, then where must I go? What must I do? Go back to Potiphar's house? What are my options? I'll let you know as soon as the Lord opens up my eyes. Cheers in Christ's name. Hey again. So, again, been thinking. And here's the product of my thoughts. Here's this girl, she once had a promising career at MTN. Well, let me just say in corporate, because MTN was not what really like the be-all and end-all of me. Thrust out of my job for no reason at all, a place where I was working very successfully. Not only struggled against jealous bosses all my life, not just at MTN, but also struggled against random women. Disrespected even by male colleagues because of the way that I looked. People didn't even listen to very much of what I said, mostly because of what I looked like. As a result, all that really just running up to an apex that found itself at the end of July in 2014. The final straw of this jealous streak in these random people within corporate that I was working with landed me with a suspension. A condition that I never thought I would ever find myself in, being the honest woman that I am and being as hardworking as I am. I never imagined that I would ever find myself suspended from my job because I was always a good employee, hardworking, never ever would have yielded enough of a reason for anybody to suspend me. Suspension usually happens when a person commits a misconduct of some sort. Being honest, I never would have been one to steal or anything like that to warrant such a thing happening to me, but it happened to me. And I was innocent entirely. This was an apex, like I said, the height that was reached of persecution that I had been enduring throughout my career, not just at MTN. From the very bottom where I started all the way up until MTN had I been struggling from jealous bosses. I once even had a boss where I used to work at a call center, one of my first jobs. After asking for my opinion in a meeting in front of my colleagues, I give it to her. And then she literally told me right in front of everybody, "Get off your high horse, Karab." Meanwhile, she had asked me for my opinion. I eventually resigned because of that woman. Thankfully, I had another job to walk into. The next place that I went into was another call center, where my boss never even used to talk to me. She would walk past me in corridors, unfit as Antumedis. Thankfully, that job was short-lived, and I found myself in a job as a trainer at Nedbank. Another place that didn't make sense, where my boss, who had hired me, would then call me into a meeting room just to tell me that if it was not for my colleague, Karabo, I really would not have hired you. So again, get over yourself. Anything I would say at all would be antagonized by these women. Strangely, I often end up with women bosses. The same trend followed me everywhere I went, and I have not had a single boss, actually, no, correction, one. I gotta absorb one. That was actually really good to me. A woman, go MTN. The rest of them didn't make sense. Persecuted, given appraisal scores that don't make sense, despite the fact that I was performing so excellently, getting reviews in the corridors about how some general manager said something awesome about me and like, why wasn't Karabo on this project all along? My goodness, why wasn't she a PM all along? She's brilliant. But such feedback, when my boss was sitting in that same meeting, doesn't reach my ears. I only get it through the ears or the mouth of somebody else on the floor, who then came to me at the turnstiles as I was leaving the building, telling me, Karabo, wow, we've been getting some pretty good feedback about you since you got on to this particular position. But my own boss wouldn't tell it to me. In other words, I've always had a trend of just horrible bosses. And over and above the pain of having horrible bosses, I've also had horrible friends within corporate, random girls who would all be my friends at first and then somehow they would just gravitate away from me. A struggle that I have been having all my life. And here I am finding myself at a juncture, a place where I can either go left or right, a turning point of some sort. I cannot continue to go straight, for the path that I am on is clearly not working for me. I can either go back, which is corporate, or go left or right. And I don't know where the left or the right goes, but all I know is that I cannot go backwards. I cannot go back to corporate. I need to work. I need to make money. I do not know where I need to go. The Lord has shown me where I must go, but the prospect of it grates me. So finding myself where I am right now, I'm then like, okay, so here I am having lost a job, been fired, having done nothing at all that was wrong. Never ever imagined I would ever get fired in my life because I was just that kind of employee. You know when you're so confident in your ability to be able to deliver that you never fathom such things as being fired would ever happen to you, ever. Perhaps a retrenchment, I can see how that would happen because it tends to hit certain people. But even then, within a retrenchment, I never thought that would ever happen to me because I was just that good at what I did. Such that I would imagine that somebody else would get chosen over me. Because I was that good. Out of a staff complement of 10, and they were retrenching 8, I would have the confidence to believe that I would be among the 2 that stayed. And yet here I am finding myself fired, while a useless boss person by the name of Rupesh Patel still sits in a warm senior manager chair for MTN. I don't know what his performance is like, but he did use his minions on the ground to do his job for him, so I suppose he's surviving because of them. Here it is that I find myself fired, because of persecution from horrible bosses as well as horrible friends, one of which was conglomerating with Rupesh Bina Makanji, and lying about me, getting a woman who was excellent at her job fired. These two, these random baboons, Bali 2, were only the tip, the cherry on the cake, the apex of a situation that I have been struggling with all my career. Shall I say also all my life, because I've had issues generally from young, even with friends at school, etc. I've just never been free from this random bug, this beast that's following me. It is not my fault that I am gifted. It is not my fault that I am talented. The Lord saw it fit to give it to me, all that. Sadly, I never saw it for what it was up until now. I suppose the Lord is also in the business of enlightening us, is he not? But now I find myself here, where I have to go either left or right. But I cannot stay on the same path that I am on. And going back is not an option. Going straight is not an option, because going straight implies I must go back into corporate, right? No, I'm not interested in going back into corporate. Because I'm going to face this beast again and again and again and again and again and again, because it is a trend that will continue to follow me for as long as I continue to immerse myself within a certain environment. So what do? I do that which is uncomfortable to me. I do that which is unusual for me. I do that which is testing different waters, because the ones that I'm swimming in are clearly not working for me. They're murky. I gotta go swim somewhere else. I can't swim, certainly. Anywhere I go, I can swim. But I gotta definitely swim somewhere else. I gotta change the seas. I gotta change the waters. The waters that I am in right now are murky. So where are these waters that I have to go that I don't want to taste? Because of the prospect of it grating me. This thing that I just spoke about in the blog prior to this one. Here I am, a woman, utterly alone. You would imagine that somebody at the age of 30 will have gathered for themselves a great stream of friends, a life, a legacy of some sort. But I stand here hollow with nothing to my name because of freaks, jealous freaks. Stolen from me, everything, including my legacy that I had built, a career that I had built, that I would have to start from the ground because I was fired for no reason from my job, and I'm struggling to find justice even in the system that is this government of ours that's supposed to give us justice. There are corrupt officials in the CCMA that are bribed, and because of that I can't even find justice to a point where I can at least get myself back to a level playing ground in terms of my career. What then do? A woman having nothing at all to lose, for I have lost it all. Anginaluto to my name. Akinanex. I've lost everything, including my family. The losses to me have been severe, devastating. Leona family thing persecute me because of the same reasons that my bosses persecute me. So, I mean, really, you could imagine if your family persecutes you for the very reason that your boss persecutes you, then where in the world else do you have to go? How much heavier will that persecution go? Because I'm suffering go higher because of a jealous cousin, a jealous sister, and a mother with issues. People who just do not want my exaltation for whatever reason that they may have. So I am struggling in the way that I am. As for why I was chosen for such a great deal of suffering, only the Lord knows, and only the Lord will reveal in due season. But where must I go right now? Hangna enye indawo that I can't go other than where God is showing me. What do I have to lose? What do I have to lose? Honestly, guys, I have zero. Nothing to my name. No one, not a single friend to my name. Nothing. My phone does not ring the whole day. I have nobody and nothing. I am like one who has died, Ekai. I am like one who has died even to ex-friends, etc. I am like one who has been wiped off the slate of history altogether. You have taken an individual, a human being with a bright future, a woman who is gifted, and you have literally taken an eraser and did this to her. You have erased me. That one deed that you did, Rupesh, and your stupid Gangnam style random woman. I can tell you what the deal is with that girl to this day. Why she did that to me. Vina. You went and you took an eraser, the two of you, and you erased me from the face of the earth. You tried anyway, except there was something called YouTube. There was something called The Cloud, where I have a blog. WordPress, thank you very much. But you went and you erased me. I have nothing and no one to whom I am attached right now. And YouTube, my blog, is the only place where I have a voice and a podium. The only place where the very color that you try to kill by destroying me and getting me rid out of your company can be shone. The only place where this talent that you are jealous of, you freak, can be shone on a rooftop. By the grace of God, thank God for internet, right? Here I am finding myself as a woman erased, but I continue to exist in a cloud. I continue to exist inside a cloud, a computer cloud, a software cloud. That is the only place where I live. Artificial intelligence, how amazing is it, right? I continue to exist in a cloud. That's the only place where I have not been erased from people. I am like a robot. I live in a cloud because I've been erased from any place in the society that made sense. You have taken me, taken an eraser, and you have erased me. My family has erased me. My boss, being the apex, carrying the hands of all my other random bosses. My friends at MTN, being at the apex, and even the ones I had prior to that, carrying my hand to the apex, carrying the hands of others who have persecuted me all throughout this time, to the apex. doing to me the final deed that finally got rid of this girl. Except what you did with her was put her everywhere in a cloud. Now where everybody else can hear her. But I exist still only in a cloud. Whereas everywhere else, I have been erased from that chair. I have just been erased from the archives of my family. They might as well buy a tombstone. I am dead at home. Rest in peace, Karabo Siseke Lehlong, in 1984 to 2015 or whatever. According to them, I am dead. I am like somebody who has died. I'm a ghost. I'm like a robot. I exist in a cloud only. For I have been erased everywhere. Everywhere. That's what you did to an innocent human being. Imagine that, you freaks. So since I find myself in this position right now where I've been erased, why in the world am I still so concerned about going somewhere and having somebody know who I am? In a mall. I think I want that. For somebody to touch me and be like, oh, mommy, look, she's real. It's that actress girl. Baba Bega. Get mang from this particular show. And even there where I go, there will be other human beings with whom I will be communicating in other words. God, while you erase me off your chairs, MTN, and while you've already done a tombstone, because I am now dead to you, family. There is somewhere else where God has already drawn my portrait onto a chair, and it's waiting for me to sit on it. And it just so happens to be in this cloud, in a television. The entertainment industry, the very place that I am skeptical to go to, is the only place that will receive me at this point in time. And it also is the only place where your erasure of me, Rupesh and Vina, and all those random Gangnam style irritating mutants at MTN who don't realize they're actually just attributing the Hunger Games, together with my family. The only place from where my justice finally will be served, and you will have to put a monument of me where you got rid of me. So this time around, you will put something that lives on, a monument. My legacy is going to be a monument in MTN. Nobody will ever forget who there was once this girl that brought this crazy lawsuit against MTN that not only freed the rest of us, but other people in corporate. There's going to be a monument to this girl that was stalked by her parents and everybody else in Gibo. Now there is a monument, something that lives on. It never dies, a statue. So by erasing me from a chair, thinking that you're getting rid of a warm body, all you did was build the foundation for my monument to lie, to stand at MTN, for there to forever be a legacy. Here is the girl that brought down the Titanic. And this is where it used to be. It used to be called MTN. Yeah, it used to exist in South Africa until Ugarabo rocked up and toppled it underfoot. You are building me a monument. That place there, that yellow building that you're walking around in, the day is coming when it's going to be a museum. I used to tell Bani, I'm not going to say her name, some girl, another one that I used to be friends with at MTN. Well, I keep getting these dreams where MTN is a museum. Like kids, little kids coming in to check out like statues and what have you of like random things, like a museum. And I tell her, no man, I keep dreaming that, MTN is a mall, man. Like, I dreamt of this particular boardroom, Nelly Edgar's. And I dreamt of this particular whatever. It was a parking lot of a big fat mall, a mall. And I remember telling this girl, why do I keep dreaming that MTN is a mall? And I was like, hey, maybe MTN is going to be liquidated. Angazi. I don't know. And then they're going to, like, the developers are going to buy the building and then they're going to change it into a mall. I used to tell my colleague that. We used to fellowship in the things of the Lord and I'd be like, hey, I keep getting these dreams, or I'm working in the mall, or MTN, every day I'm walking into like Clearwater Mall or something, bro. I keep dreaming time and time again repetitively, or MTN is a mall. And I was like, maybe it means one day MTN is no longer going to be here. And what's going to replace it is going to be a mall where there's also a little section where it's a museum for school kids to come and check out things. To this day, that still has not happened. And to this day, you're still saying, oh my goodness, this is the Titanic. Not even God can sink it. We shall see if that dream will come to pass. If it doesn't, probably be many years from now. Then you will go back to this blog and look at it. But you have built for me a monument, Rupesh, thank you. You're going to, you don't know it yet. The Lord, in you taking me out, you put me in a cloud, such that I will build a case that is going to so destroy and annihilate not only you, but the building and company that you work for, and all the rubbish that is in there as well. One little girl, a child of God, that you trampled underfoot. But where is the one place that I must first go before I can do that? I can imagine nowhere else but the entertainment industry. I guess I gotta go do this whole TV thing. I have to do it. If I end up loving it. But what's going to draw me there? Remember my question? Can you end up loving something that you hate? The answer to that, I was like, I don't know. If it is yes, however, how does one get drawn to it? I know the wrath of God in a child of His that has been done over by random people, and the recognition of the fact that going back into corporate because you just don't want to be an actress, Garabo, is the very thing that's going to make you lose your case. And the fight that I have had up until now, this entire year, I'm like, ke halika lebala Vina, ke halika lebala Rupesh, ke halika lebala all these random staff members Rupesh that put that rubbish in my dismissal document. Lebalang, you will see my face in the cloud, and this time around it's going to be much bigger than the one that you're looking at on YouTube. MTN. The day is coming when my face is going to be public, and you will regret the day you dogged me, you dog. So, that's it. The answer to my uncertainties about whether or not I should go ahead with this acting thing, this entertainment industry thing, is I don't love this thing yet. It's like a guy I don't like. But I realize he's like the last man on earth. If I'm trying to save the planet and procreate, I gotta go towards this guy. But once I'm in there, hey, just like an arranged marriage, I'll end up loving him eventually. So the Lord will probably show me very quickly, okay, this is where I was supposed to be anyway. But I'm certainly not going to sit in an environment where there are murky waters. Simply because, those other waters, I'm not really sure what's going on there. I am going to try my hand at it, guys. If I boom, I boom. If I don't, I don't. But I certainly will try my hand at it. Although I suspect I will boom. So that those random animals at MTN that dogged me the way that they did will feel the wrath of God when I become so big that they cannot even stomach what they did to me at first. As for my family, I guess they can put up that tombstone further. I love you guys in the name of Jesus. Crank case and out. Bye.